Welcome to Ballroom Mastery, ladies and gentlemen. It is phenomenal to have you here. I wanted to give you a quick update as to what's happening because I want to help you make 2020 your absolute phenomenally best year yet. And lots of coaches around the world say that. I don't really think a lot of people, I heard this yesterday from my mentor. He says, I don't think a lot of people plan to fail. Everybody wants to start the year with a bang, right? Everyone wants to start the year making sure that their resolutions are intact and off we go. And I remember doing a marketing campaign a while ago when I was, I'm in the entrepreneurial space outside of this, and I was doing a marketing campaign to find out from some people what they needed help with the most. And I said, are you the type of person that sets a goal in January and then it sits in the drawer in February and it gathers dust until December? And then you pull it out and look at it again and go, that didn't happen, right? I'm guilty of that. I've set so many goals and I've just put them aside and never really gone for them, or I've doubted myself too much, or my limiting beliefs, or time just got in the way, quote unquote. Whatever the reasons, let's discuss a bit of that today. Because one of the things I'm launching in early January is Ballroom Mastery Academy. Now, I'm only limiting it to 100 people. There's over 10,000 people on the Facebook page, there's over 5,000 on YouTube, plus the email list that I have in the dance space and the partners that I have that could market this for me. 100 people is not very many, but I want to close it off at 100 so I can work with people over a 5 to 6 week period to not only go through technique of ballroom dancing and really go deep on what, like if you like what the YouTube channel's like, you wait till you see what's in this course because it's a planned pattern of growth. But then there's also the mindset side of things, which is the reason people fail at their goals, right? It's the reason they set out with these resolutions and, well, they resolve to do them, don't they? But they sit in the drawer. By mid-January, you know they're not working. By February, it's out. Oh, you know, it's too hard, it's too this, it's too that. Could be money is an issue, time's an issue. I know yesterday when I asked the question on the Facebook page, I said, what's the biggest thing that's holding you back? Time, money, no partner, location, of course. So, you know, the internet, I'm going to help you with all of that. I will show you exactly how to solve all those problems because I've done it. I had no money when I started dancing. I was in debt. I had no partner. Then I got a partner, and how the hell did I make that partnership last? I understood how to make sure that we had to travel to our locations because we did have a coach locally, but all of our competitions, all of them, except for one every year, all of them were interstate or overseas. So we had to get money to travel. And so all of these issues, I understand what you have to go through. But I want to make this year for you the best possible. And I'm going to do it in a variety of formats. I'm going to offer some free training between now and mid-January that you can tune into, like a virtual summit to help you plan out. I'll share with you some of the strategies that I use that help my clients. I have clients that pay upwards of $20,000 for 3 months work with me to do what we're about to do. And so I'm a big believer in giving first and then asking later. And so for those who are willing to come on board for Ballroom Mastery Academy and would like to know a bit more about it, send me an email, info@ballroommastery.com, info@ballroommastery.com, and just say, hey Vaughan, interested to know a bit more about Ballroom Mastery Academy, let me know what that's about. Then I can personally send you the training series that accompanies it so you know what it's about, what it details, and how to enroll in it if it's for you. And it is an application process, so those who are accepted into it, you will become a founding member, and then from there you get a cool t-shirt and some other things as well. So it's a great commitment I'm making to you and you're making to me, and it scares me a little. You know, doing these sorts of things, that they excite me and scare me, and that's precisely the sort of goal you need to create for yourself in your own life. So whatever you've been struggling with, whether it's money, partnership problems, time to practice, how to practice, the technique in your dancing, like, oh my God, my balance, my posture, I have no idea how to look like that guy on the floor, then what you need to do is send me an email right now, info@ballroommastery.com. Let's work together, all right? Like I said, it's capped at 100, and I'd like to start the process of enrollment before that, but I'll send you lots of detail about it so you and I can see if it's the right fit, see if it's the right thing. Now, let me really share with you one of the things I believe that is going to change you fundamentally as a person if you adopt this new mindset and behavior. Are you ready for it though? I mean, you've got to be ready for this because you may not like me at the end. Are you ready? Okay. So when I ask you what is holding you back, what do you answer? Tell me now. What's holding you back? Like, okay, so you want more, right? Like, you want to have the pretty dresses on the floor and earn that dress. You want to look good dancing, right? You want to look good on the competition floor. You want to have rich, rewarding relationships. You want to have coaches that support you. You want to have partnerships that last the test of time and the test of challenges. You want good finances, right? You want good health. You want a loving family. Like, these are natural and normal wants and desires. These are not greedy things. All right, but what's holding you back from having them? What's your answer? What's the first thing that pops up in your mind? What is it? Tell me. Write it below. Now, here's what's going to happen. Your experience of life, which is what we call our past experience, which is often a recollection of memory, and often we can't recall most of our memories. And what happens is, well, here's an interesting side note. Recently, in some recent research, they're trying to figure out how much memory you and I have. Okay, this is a big one because memory is such a phenomenal thing that it's so hard to understand how it even works. It's so complex. But somebody came up with the analysis that if you were to leave your brain recording 24/7, which it does, your brain is constantly recording, for it to fill up would take 300 years. Whoa, 300 years. I mean, that's how much memory you have. So we have perfect memory, but we have bad recall, right? So we can't recall things. So what ends up happening in your life, every day events hit you, events hit you, events hit you. Things are happening in the world. You hear news, you hear stories. You often hear terrible things going on all the time. People are slighting you, doing wrong against you. And it's building evidence against why the reality of how you see life is the way it is. And it stacks and it layers over time. And as you go on through time, more evidence compounds as to why life is the way it is. Now, we call that past experience because you're looking in hindsight going, well, I've got all these things to prove that people don't like me. I have all these reasons to back up why I have no confidence to go after what I want. I have all of the evidence, Vaughan, to prove why I can't get what I want in life. Here it is, lay it out. Except the problem is you're recalling from a faulty service. You're only recalling bits and pieces that serve that story, that serve that narrative, that serve, well, they actually don't serve, do they? They disservice you completely. They throw you off and it traps you. Now, this is what we call a loop, okay? So you start off by looking at where you are, your present results. That sets up a thought, that sets up a feeling and an action. That is what I call the cycle of doom. It's a loop, okay? And so everything that you do in life is then reflected back into how you think. And so that cycle is going to keep perpetuating until you spiral downwards. Not upwards, downwards generally, because your results don't improve, finances don't change, you seem to get busier, yet the results are worse. You go through one relationship into another, expecting to be different, yet you carry the same baggage, right? You don't know how to let it go or forgive the person or forgive the past. And so because of that, you don't change the results in the future. So beyond goal setting, there's something that has to change for you. What is it? This is the whole thing I was asking you before. What's holding you back? And I'm going to give you the answer. Just stay with me for this. But the point is that you've got these experiences that are holding you in place. I don't care if you're 60 years old or 80 years old or 18 years old. This happens to all of us. And then we form a little narrative. I watched an awesome movie the other night by Martin Scorsese. My God, this guy can make movies. You know, like, wow. Why can he make movies? Because he can tell a story. And he uses it in such a way that's just gripping. You can watch a 3-hour masterpiece with him and you'd be like, wow, that was 3 hours? What just happened? The point is that the story traps you and it intrigues you. You have a story of your life too, and it's built up of all these faulty recollections about how life is the way it is. Except it isn't true except to you. It's your reality. Your perception is formulated from that, and your perception forms your reality. It doesn't mean that's how it has to be, and it certainly doesn't mean that's how it is for the future. All right, so what do we have to do? The first answer I could possibly give you, that's the most liberating, but it's the one that might make you hate me the most. Do you know what it might be? Have a think. All right, there's 2 letters you need to keep in mind, just 2, M and E. Me, my excuses. Those are the things that are holding you in place. Now, you might have the evidence to prove everything is against you. Fine, you will lose. I would suggest you start flipping it and start looking for the evidence of why things can go for you, why things can help you. Maybe you found this channel out of the ether, right? You didn't know who I was a week ago, now you do, and you're like, oh my God, what am I listening to? Truth resonates with the soul for a reason, right? It's because you are ready to hear this. And because of that, you're also ready to let go of those past excuses. You are ready to let go of the chains and the shackles of the things that have held you in place up until this point. And your age is irrelevant with this, because I know people who are in their 60s who have the emotional development of a 16-year-old. You may laugh and say, oh, but when we hit a trauma in our early development years, it actually stunts our emotional growth and it stops us. And so you can be 60 years old and still have the emotional response and regulation of a teenager who is out of control anyway, right? So the point is that once you start to identify, hey, that's me, I've been trapping myself in place with these faulty belief systems that I inherited from my friends and my family, and they've been fueling it for me for years. What do I need to do? I need to let go of the ME, my excuses. What are those excuses? They're different for everyone, but they're pretty much the same. I have no money, I have no time, I have no skill to do that. I've never done it before, so I can't do it again. I'm not good enough, I'm not loved enough, right? These are the limiting beliefs that hold us in place. And if your goal is to become a champion dancer or it's just to become better at dancing, you're gonna have these excuses hit you right up in the face, right in the face. They're gonna hit you quickly. When they hit you, you have to be aware of what's going on. You see, all we're trying to do is awareness. Like if I bring over this light, okay, and use this as an example, right? This light's on and now it's off. This is someone walking through life without being aware of what I'm talking about. And then one day it's like they pick up a good book or a good piece of information and they realize, wait a minute, I can be a victor over my circumstances. I don't need to be a victim. The light's coming on, but it's not fully lit. It's sort of like, oh, that's an interesting idea. Then you keep listening to these types of information, these types of books, and it's like it keeps strengthening the idea that you actually have a power stronger than any circumstance or any adversity, that you can overcome anything that's going against you. And absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. So just because you can't see it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. But your life is a continuation of your decisions. And you can make new ones today that start to strengthen your awareness and start to strengthen the fact that, wait a minute, I am powerful. Oh, I have a lot I could do in my life. There's a lot more that I could do that I'm giving to the world. And so the starting point, and this is the hardest thing for most people to do, is to let go of the reasons why you can't and to lean in to all of the reasons why you can, and to lean in to the fact that there's a purpose you're here, and to lean into the fact that you have unique skills, talents, and abilities that are yet to see the light of day. You have unique skills, talents, and abilities that cultivate a potential in you. A potential is only a potential, right? It's dormant. It lies there under the surface, waiting to poke through to see the light of day. Now, how do we do this? We do this through awareness. We do this through listening to things like this. We do this by challenging our comfort zone on a daily basis. And it's called a comfort zone for a reason. It's to secure you, it's to protect you, it's to keep you in place. It is there to hold you in place because it's familiar. But get this, and here's the real clincher. You created the comfort zone. You built the wall in which you now sit within, around you. You generally built those bricks with opinions and belief systems of other people. And so what I would recommend to you is to grab a freaking sledgehammer and smash those bricks down, like hammer them out. And then, and each time you hit it, realize you're knocking out an excuse as to why you can't do something. You're knocking out a reason as to why it's not possible. And you're starting to gain a little bit more confidence in who you are, what could be possible for you. And then you're starting to change beliefs just by doing that. We haven't even started the real work, but that's how it is. It doesn't take a lot, but that takes courage. And I think courage is the most undervalued virtue that we could possess and develop. And so for us to go forward confidently, we have to get rid of the excuses. We have to, absolutely have to, remove all of the limitation thinking. When we do this, we start stepping into a place where we can victor over anything that comes our way. We will start to attract the resources we need. We will attract the partners we need. we will attract the training and the teachers and the coaches we need. And you'll be like, where were they all my life? It's like, well, they were always there. They never weren't there. You just tapped into them because you started leaning into what was possible and you started letting go of what wasn't. This is Vaughan. I want to thank you for tuning in. Remember to send me an email, info@ballroommastery.com. I'd love to work with you. I'd love to help make you every day the best yet, not just the year. Let's work together and make this happen. Thank you very much, and I can't wait to help you master the art of ballroom dancing and the art of life.